What's up everyone? AJ here on Day Trader Boom or Bust. I hope you had a great trading day. I was able to grind out a modest green day, but I dealt with something that maybe some of you have dealt with. If you're like me and have what I consider to be a smaller trading account, then you might have dealt with limitations due to buying power, which is something that I deal with from time to time. And I hope to avoid in the future as I grow my trading account. But right now, I know it's something that can come up every once in a while, and it did today, so I'm going to talk about that in today's recap. So this is my watch list for today. I post this every morning between 9 a.m. and 9:15 a.m. on my Twitter account, so if you want to be sure to catch that every morning, make sure to give me a follow at AJ Tabayan. On the primary watch list, I had FCell, which was trading on some earnings, and I had Win, which was a gapper, it was gapping down, and then I had Apple, which as a continuation play, but they also, it was also definitely something I was watching because they have their event today. And then on the secondary list, I had BA based off of its daily, and then Snap, DKNG, Baba, and Nvidia as continuation plays. So as you can see, I managed to continue to stay patient and really be selective about the trades I was entering. I only took 4 trades today and managed a 50% win rate, which is great. And only traded 2 tickers. So let's take a quick look at the first one. First one I traded today was Apple. So let's jump into the 1-minute chart. So I got caught up a little bit in the morning chop on this. And there we go. Let's just pull this over. So here were my ORB trades on Apple today. You can see it pushed up initially right at the open, but then sold off, and I was really waiting to see what if it was going to give a clear direction. Now, based off of the level 2 and what I was seeing with the price action, it definitely looked weak. So I waited and I went short at the break of the low of the first 1-minute candle, and I went short right there. And I'm happy with that because I feel I was patient waiting on that. Unfortunately, it did come back and stop me out, and I even lost on slippage on that. So I ended up taking, I think a 1.2R loss on that trade, which was unfortunate. But you can see it threw a big wick on this candle that stopped me out, and I really still felt that it was weak. So I went short again here. Now this one was, I feel it was premature. I should have waited till here, but as I look at this, I don't think it would have changed anything, simply because even if I waited for here, it obviously came back on me and would have stopped me out. So I didn't want to risk getting further into the red on the day by being fixated on Apple. I felt that at this point maybe there was going to be a pretty strong battle between the bears and the bulls because with today's catalyst, and it was possible I wasn't going to be able to see what the true direction was until we got closer to the event, or maybe even after the event. But so I looked away from Apple at that point and looked for further opportunities, and then I looked at Mara. So Mara was trading, as you know, I look for things that are trading above 100% RVol, because I really feel that volume helps the moves that I'm looking for. So I was looking at Mara. Mara did push up, but then you can see it consolidated in this area over here, and VPOC was right over here. So I thought, I still think I didn't think there was a play yet, there was a lot of bottom wicks over here, but the overall price action and the the level 2 indicated that it could be weak, but it wasn't clear. There wasn't extremely clear indication. But this is also an R4 level, so I watched it, and here's the opening price, and I felt that if it broke below that, it would be worth it to kind of give it a shot to see if it was going to continue in that direction. So I went short there. I gave it a wide stop loss. I think the stop loss was above R4, and let me clear those out so you can see that a little bit better. So stop loss was right up here. As you can see, I almost got stopped out, but it started now. It changed from throwing these bottom wicks to throwing these top wicks, and the market also was selling off, so that further made me a little bit more confident potentially in this play. And then, as you can see, after it pushed down again, it came back and retested just a little bit, but then after that just moved moved very well in my direction, and I ended up getting my full 2R profit target on this particular trade. Actually, hold on a second. So I got a full 2R profit target on this all out there. So that was a winning trade. That was great. That put me at just about break even for the day after those initial two losing trades on Apple. I was a little bit red because of the slippage that I experienced on that first Apple trade, but so I felt good about that, and I didn't want to rush into anything, but I did still feel that there was opportunities to be had on Apple. So I went back and I started watching Apple again, and I'm going to pull up let's pull up the 5-minute chart because it's probably a little bit more apparent here. So you can see that on this sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's something that might have been a little bit more obvious maybe on the 1-minute chart that I saw. So yes, so I was okay, I'll start with the 5-minute because, as I've mentioned before, after the the opening range breakout plays, I do look for opportunities based off the 5-minute, and then I take my entries off of the 1-minute. So you can see that after after consolidation, or sorry, the initial back and forth in this area here, and once it finally decided to Apple finally decided to move move down. Now, this is what sorry, oh my goodness, I'm apologies, I was drawing those arrows on the other chart, but I'm going to go back to Mara because I talked about it in the intro and I didn't even mention it on Mara. But so Mara, this was the Mara trade, but while this Mara trade was happening, as I mentioned, let's go back to the 1-minute chart. So this is the Mara trade, and like I said, it did sell off, but I also saw that the market was selling off. So let's take a quick look at that so I can show you. And although I generally like to only manage one trade at a time, so here you can see this is the SPY, and the SPY was selling off just like Mara was, and the other stocks were really trading in the same direction. So we'll go back to Apple. And while I was in that Mara trade, I saw this happening, and I was watching Apple, and it was trying to resist a little bit as it kind of stayed in this area, but I really did feel that it was still weak, like I did when I took these earlier trades. And with the SPY starting to sell off, I thought that Apple had a really good opportunity to push down also. So the buying power issue now came into play because, first off, on Mara, I already have to give a pretty wide berth on Mara because it's a little bit of a higher requirement for the, for short positions. So let me just pull that, what I'm talking about. So you can see here, oh, this is Apple. Sorry, let's go back to Mara. On Mara, to take a short position, it's actually not that bad today, but the short margin rate is 60%. Now, I'm not really able to articulate exactly, how to calculate that. If you're interested in that, comment below, and maybe I'll do another video and go into more detail. But the bottom line is, because of that 60% requirement, margin rate requirement, with its smaller trading account, I have to give Mara quite a bit of room to my stop loss for me to be able to take a position, which is generally on Mara, I have to give at least 30 cents. So sometimes that can be challenging. At the open, it's not so big of a deal, but later in the day, when the moves are more muted, it makes it a little bit more difficult to catch opportunities. So I'm already using a lot of margin when I take this position on Mara, but I saw an opportunity on Apple, and I wanted to take it, but I knew that I had to give this a significantly larger stop, because I just simply didn't have enough buying power. Ideally, I would have wanted to give this maybe about a 20-cent stop loss. Unfortunately, I had to give it, I think it was 48 cents, almost 50 cents stop loss, just to be able to take this position with the risk amount that I was using. Now, I could have lowered the risk amount, I have other hotkeys with lower risk amount, and maybe, had a bit of a tighter stop loss, but I still felt that this could run. So I thought, okay, you know what? So my stop loss was all the way up here. So that would make, for me to be able to, see this is the stop loss. For me to be able to take profit, I would have had to be all the way down here. So, and hence, my stop, my 2-hour profit target was all the way down here at S1. So, it's just something that I think that is just challenging when you have a bit of a smaller account. Maybe if you experience this yourself, in some cases, I wouldn't even be able to enter the trade, especially when the stock is priced around this $150 range. So I managed to get into that. I didn't know how this was going to go, simply because I had such a wide stop loss. But anyways, I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out. The Mara trade, so what happened was I entered this, and you can see that it went in my direction immediately, which was great. Had I had a 20-cent stop loss, I'm almost pretty sure I would have got my profit target right here. And unfortunately it didn't, and you can see that it ended up consolidating in this area for quite some time, which made me a little bit nervous on how this trade might go, just because now we're bouncing off some pretty solid resistance, which is previous day close, pre-market low, and I wasn't sure if it was going to make it through that. And in any case, my Mara trade ended up working, as I mentioned, and that happened around this area here. So now I had the additional buying power. So what I did was I waited for a bit of a pullback, which happened right here. So let me just clear this out so it's a little bit more clear. I waited for this pullback, and then when it did that pullback and then pushed back below R1 here, I did a bit of an add, just so that I could, realize maybe a little bit more profit on this in case it didn't break below, these resistance areas, potential support areas right over here. Not resistance, sorry, support. So I did do an ad there, and that brought, but because it was so low, that brought my It brought my average price to 150.07 from 150.17 where my original entry was at. So and at this point I brought my break even to stop loss, so I was hoping it didn't stop me out, and I just had to be patient, and it did sell off. And you can see I partialed here because it did break through these levels, which was great. I just didn't know if it was going to shoot back up, and just in front of S1 I took a partial, and then I waited a little bit, and I did manage to take another partial here for about a 2.1R gain on this particular trade. So hopefully that all makes sense. Sorry if I got a little confusing there and rambled a bit with regards to the buying power, but if you've experienced it, then you'll know what I'm talking about, and it's just something I have to manage until I have the equity in my account to not have to deal with those, because I don't mind if the opportunity presents itself. I don't mind managing 2, maybe even 3 trades if the opportunities are there. In this instance, it definitely worked for me, which was great. The last thing I'll mention before I close this off, I was really focused on staying consistent this this week, and unfortunately, because of that, or I guess not unfortunately, but I missed some further opportunities that I saw happening just because I was a little scared to take another position and put my gains at risk today. I saw this opportunity on Apple, and let me just here, this is the 5-minute chart. So Apple, it failed to break above this area here, which is the same area it was wicking off over here, and this is VWAP, and you can see it kind of double topped here, and then it sold off. I was watching it. I thought there might be an opportunity if it broke below VWAP and broke below the moving averages, but I hesitated and I didn't take it. I'm just finding that I don't have as much conviction when trading later in the day right now, and I think a lot of that was because I didn't see the moves in the last month, and maybe now that the market seems to be trending a little bit more and have a little bit more continuation, maybe I can get back to leveraging some of these trade book plays for later in the day. And you can see this one would have worked easily, because had I got in there, I probably would have had to stop just up here, and my 2-hour profit target would have been right around here, and it just continued to sell off. So in any case, that was unfortunate, but that happens, and sometimes that's what you have to do to kind of protect gains. So that was disappointing, but I'm not upset about it because today was a 2-hour green day. I'll take that, and we have the rest of the week to continue padding our profits for the week. So to close things off, I forgot to share this yesterday. This is the P&L for today. So you can see I was break even on the Apple after those initial losses, and then that winning trade, and then Mara is what put me up, obviously just a few pennies below my 2-hour profit target. So I'm happy with that, and hopefully we can just continue to stay disciplined, follow the rules, and just put in great trades for the rest of the week. If you like the video, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button if you want to, continue to support the channel, and turn on notifications so that you get notified anytime I post a new video. Aside from that, this is AJ on Day Trader Boom or Bust, signing out. Cheers.